Hello everyone and welcome to my look at Ghost Pia Season 1. This was a game that was sent to me by the developers, so thank you very much for sending this to me. And all I know is it is a kinetic visual novel with well, a very distinct art style. And it's one of those ones where it's very much like a very I'm not going to say artsy, but it's not like your sort of typical visual novels. It's I don't know. From what I've seen from the screens, it's way more almost like a motion comic. So we're gonna be taking a look at some of it. I'm excited to sort of see this because as soon as I saw the art, I was like, yo, this looks pretty cool. So let's check it out together. Room 6, that's the devs there. And P-Cube, they're the ones who actually reached out to me for this. There are violent scenes. They're static and glitching. These are intentional. Your device is fine. That's really funny considering, yeah, if it's on the Switch there, it'll be like, look like your thing's freaking out. Good, 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 good. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's, that's some glitching, all right. That is definitely some glitching. All right, well, we're going to start with oh my god, yes. Whoa, this looks so cool. Volume, visual effects, CRT effect on or off. I'm keeping this on. It's so unique. I know some people probably don't like it, but too bad. There's vibration. I mean, that doesn't affect you guys, but I like good vibes. Oh, there's voices. Okay. I thought I was going to need to be doing this myself. I'll say that is not the easiest dialogue to read, but it's kind of fun. So we're gonna leave it. Ghost Pia Season 1. There's a new townsperson in town. Alright. Want to start? Well, I mean, I haven't resumed yet, but let's get going. Press A, you can go back. If you're confused, press B to open the manual. Okay. It's been a long journey. It's dark by the time I get out of the station. Oh, there's a very light tap, like an HD rumble tap when you click. That's cool. A cold breeze blows, and I suddenly want to go home. This is a ghost town. It's certainly lonely enough to have earned that name. Despite my reluctance, I quickly remember why I came here. To fulfill her wish. It's a promise I have to keep. I whispered to myself, I've come to see you. Oh, that's smooth. Oh, yeah. Whoa, holy crap. Okay. Alright, so I've only seen still images. I did not... Is that the Friday Night Funkin'? Is that Boif? Yo, that was great. It's been my dream to dream. I feel bad for people who can't dream. Yo, for real. My dreams are wild. And what happens when I pause? Oh, that's really good. Oh, that's a really good pause. Oh, that's good. Oh my god. Oh, I really like these effects. So I was worried that they'd be too overbearing in gameplay, but the fact that they're on the pause is kind of sick. Resume. Lately, I've been sleeping all the time, but I haven't dreamed at all. I want to dream. I want to escape from reality and go elsewhere. But no matter how much I sleep, the world of dreams just won't come to me. Have I ever even had a dream? I'm not quite sure myself. And thus, I'm on the precipice of awakening. My body slowly oh no, I'm covering the text. It looks like ya boy is gonna need to shrinky-dinky a bit. Oh no, I'm getting smaller, no! It's okay. I'm here with you. I never left. My body slowly floats up from the darkness of dreamless sleep, reminding me that I do have a body, and I'm not just part of the puddle of dream goo. But I want to sleep longer. I grab a hold of sleep's tail and try to sink myself back into the goo. When I let out a yawn and open my eyelids, I recognize the sound of a ringing phone. So that's what woke me up. Yo, phones? That's how you know this isn't taking place in the modern day. That trifling realization sends sparks flying within my brain, instantly casting aside my drowsiness. I've woken up once again. My heart feels cold, heavy, as if someone had poured icy water into the empty hole in my chest. Dang, that looks like Canada. Look outside the window. It's almost dawn. Oh, like the glitchiness has increased since we've looked outside. Everyone's starting to go home. The air's hurried and restless, but also somehow satisfied and overflowing with hope. And then my heart gets another degree colder. Let's go. I quickly grab a change of clothes, put on my coat, and head to the door. The door leading out of my one-room apartment. I wince at the cold sensation of the metal doorknob when I turn it. Once I walk through the hall and down the stairs, the door there leads outside. I really like this art. Whoa! Is that a freaking rocket? Okay, I'm gonna be real. I have no idea where this takes place, but like this is what Canada looks like. Like the wide expanse and the not very tall buildings. That's the thing that sets it apart. At least where I'm from, like this looks real. Aside from the rocket, possibly. That looks like a rocket. It's the same outside as ever. Thick snow covers the ground. Like always. Good thing I brought my boots. A cursory glance at a nearby brick fence reveals graffiti in a language foreign to me. Behind it, in the distance, are buildings covered in pastel, candy-like colors, except they're now faded, dull, and ambiguous. There aren't many tall buildings. What does stand out is a cylinder thrusting forth from the middle of town, as well as the peculiar silhouette of a church in the distance that almost looks like it's got an onion on top. In any case, I've got the feeling that this isn't the place where I belong. This is a ghost town. Well, yeah. I mean, we used to call it Deadmonton for a reason. Someone decided it'd be called that. Or rather, that's all anyone's ever called it. This is a ghost town, after all. There's not much else here, so if you're not going to name the town after its inhabitants, what else are you going to call it? It's ghosts that live here. Or rather, that's all anyone's ever called them. I think that's the only thing they're comfortable calling themselves since they live forever, and are active at night. Oh, okay, what? Oh, okay, well that's a drop. They really are ghost-like in that sense. But I guess since the like part is off-putting, they've settled on just straight-up calling themselves ghosts. Naturally, I'm a ghost myself. As dawn breaks and ghosts go home, I head out into the ghost town. The horizon's starting to turn blue, so I'm sure it'll be dawn soon enough. I love this time of night, especially the sky. I do realize I'm kind of basic for liking something as commonplace as the sky, but watching the pitch-black expanse gradually fade to navy, then to blue makes me feel, well, somehow both excited and relaxed. I step forward and get confused. Why was I sounding so gloomy? I often space out and lose track of what I was thinking. I've been like this for as long as I can remember. I feel like a broken machine. If only I could keep these sad thoughts away. Not once have I ever been able to stop them. I start digging through my memory to try and remember what started that gloomy train of thought, and walk outside half asleep. Hey, walking in the snow will definitely be one way to wake you up. My feet just start walking on their own. Someone once said that the subconscious part of our mind is larger than the conscious one. I pass through the small gate of the similarly small apartment complex. Well, it's really quite simple, actually. There are many footprints left in the snow, but they're all footprints heading home, in the opposite direction that I'm headed. It seems that lonely thought has set my memory into motion. I remember now. Once again, I failed to dream. Then, I got a phone call from that girl, which woke me up. I couldn't sit still, so I went outside. Oh, frick. Now, alright, here I go. There I am. Sayako. Huh. Oh no. No, I'm still... Just... Okay. Okay, it's a bit weird, but we could do this. I wish I didn't remember that. But I suppose when you've forgotten something, it's human nature to try to remember it. The need to remember may not be at the top of the hierarchy of needs, but it's definitely pretty high up. I'd say on the hierarchy of needs, that has to do with like emotional regulation almost, right? That's like love and emotional regulation. That's pretty high. Oh my god, Animal Crossing noises. That's a strong thing to include. When it said voices, I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. But I'm very happy it's Animal Crossing noises. I mean, I like my full voice acting, but I really like Animal Crossing noises. Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't, I muttered to myself as I tread through the snow. As I reached the road, the snow has already been cleared, making it much easier to walk. There's not another soul on the road, but I can feel the gazes of the ghosts from inside their buildings. I can't say I like it, but it's better than seeing them face to face. There are many ghosts in this town, but as someone who currently doesn't have any friends, my one and only hobby is to walk around town early in the morning like this. It's nostalgic, melancholic, and yet somehow exciting. Yeah, no, I get that. Snow walking in the city, yo, it hit different. That's how I always feel when I go for these walks. I walk through the shabby backdrop of the city streets until I turn the corner, and the scenery changes ever so slightly. I reach the plaza in the middle of town. There are benches placed here and there, as well as a signboard of a cafe with a full view of the plaza. But it's not exactly a place with a calm, relaxing atmosphere. And that's due to the overwhelming presence of something that's the opposite of calm and relaxing. Yep, it was a rocket. I love Final Fantasy VII. In the center of the plaza is that indiscernible stone wreckage of what probably used to be a fountain, and sticking out of it, a gigantic metal cylinder with fins. It's been here for ages. Its silhouette is simple and clear. So too is its purpose. Destruction. Complete and utter destruction. There's no mistaking it. It's a missile. I have no way of knowing what sort of missile it is, but the fact of the matter is that it's a missile. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't know how long this town's history goes, but ever since it became a ghost town, the missile's been there, apparently. Since it hasn't exploded, it's probably a dud. And strangely enough, the missile is packed with the names of the town's ghosts etched all over its surface like some sort of memorial. Naturally, my name's on there too. I have no memory of writing it there, and yet there it is. Like a signature on a shady contract I've been deceived into signing. Maybe I'm a little proud to have my name here if I like... Maybe I'd be a little proud to have my name here if I like this town. But since I don't, it doesn't make me happy at all. Instead, it makes me feel like I've been bound to this depressing place, so if anything, I find it disgusting. Sukiya kick! Yo, the frame data on that, though? That hits low. I take 2 or 3 steps back, get a running start, and give the missile a good kick. Specifically, I'm at the spot where my name is written. Someone speaks up from behind me. Anya. You idiot, what if it explodes? Shocked, I turn around to see a red-headed girl I recognize. She's a person, or rather a ghost, I'd rather not run into. Yeep. That's one thing I hadn't forgotten. It's not like I did anything. She may not have done anything, but I have, so I don't know what to say. Obviously, I'm not expecting her to do anything in retaliation. It's not like I hate her or anything. But I don't know if what I've done maybe was some kind of taboo? Oh, wow. All I can do is let out a pathetic groan. Hey, wait! I turn around and make a break for it. I run shamelessly, waving my arms and legs. So, is the main character one who really tries to put on a cool front, but just actually is a giant dweeb and utterly fails at that? It's kind of what I'm getting so far. We'll see, we'll see. Anya, that redhead, appeared right behind me, so I have no choice but to make a loop around the town that's roughly shaped like a circle in order to get back home. I try to run fast, but my body just doesn't feel like it. I keep tripping and almost cry every time, and before I realize it, I'm back home. When I close the door behind me, I finally snap out of it. I can almost feel the wind blowing through my stomach. Now, think about it, I haven't eaten anything in a long time. Well, it's not like I'm gonna die or anything. When I toss my coat off by the door, it starts melting. From the hem up. Whoa. Like an orange peel eats through a piece of styrofoam. Alright? That's a metaphor that I don't know about. Does it? Do they? Okay. It bubbles, melts, and forms droplets. Whoa. The boots I toss by the bed melt too, leaving behind only useless heels and soles. By the time I toss myself onto the bed, even my feet start to melt. Even ghosts feel pain. Once the skin melts off, it exposes muscle that gets dry and stiff upon contact with the air. It hurts. The smallest flicker of air in the room causes me unbearable pain, as if rubbing irritants into open wounds. Ghosts can't survive the morning sun. The reason I kept tripping myself on the way here may have been a result of losing part of my leg muscles. Thinking about that possibility helps distract me a little from the pain. But it's not as much of a problem as it may seem. It's no big deal, really. Nothing dies in this town. Just leave it alone for a while and everything will be back to how it should be. To sleep is to temporarily lend your body to the darkness of slumber. By the time I wake up, my body will be back to normal. My legs will be healed and I won't hurt anyone. I won't hurt anymore. Well, hopefully. This sure hurts. I speak up even though I know there's no one there to respond. Well, it'd be nice if there was someone there to respond. Someone to sympathize with my pain. Maybe I'm a little lonely. Did a teardrop fall into my pillow, or was it just my imagination? My eyes fall shut before I can find out. Whoa! I can see a town off into the distance. I'm heading there at full speed. To left and right is nothing but an endless snow desert. Up ahead, railroad tracks stretch far into the distance. Behind me, the railroad ties blur together, which is a sign we must be going pretty fast. At this speed, I should be feeling the wind onto my skin, but I don't feel a thing on my body. It's only now that I realize I don't even have a body at all. Without a body, I exist as nothing more than a perspective that's somehow chugging along the railroad like a train. Without a body, I don't get tired, so I just aimlessly watch the scenery flow by. Once I'm about a few kilometers away from the town, I finally recognize it. That's the town I live in. That's a bit of a relief, at least it's not some strange, unknown territory. Before long, my trained self will arrive at the station. But as I gradually slow down, my body doesn't feel a thing, not even momentum. Suddenly, my perspective switches, as if someone had turned the tuning dial on an old analog radio. My new perspective is facing the doors inside a train. I'm already at the station. The doors open automatically. Oh, there stands a girl. She pulls the corner of her mouth to the sides as if to say bleh before telling me, "Welcome." Welcome? I've lived here for a long time, so I don't need anyone to welcome me. What's even going on? I try to tell her those things, but I can't speak. By the time I wake up, it's completely dark outside. Ghosts are nocturnal creatures. Thus, the town's bustling with liveliness. No dreams again. Oh, she forgot. She keeps forgetting. The pain in my legs and the damage to my clothes have both vanished as if nothing had happened. I'm just a little relieved. I think I woke up much earlier than usual. I decide to check out the window again as part of my daily habit of seeing how much time is left before sunrise. We need to talk. I haven't seen that electric bulletin board before. It looks pretty haphazardly made, too. There's wires and poking out and duct tape stuck on it here and there. Probably handmade. It's been lazily stuck on the wall of the building facing my apartment. I've got a hunch as to who put it there. Almost everything in the town can be fixed with a little duct tape. I can still vividly remember her voice. Maybe that's because I actually heard her voice just yesterday. Ring? Phone starts to ring on cue. I check to see if my socks are on and if my boots and coat are there. I comb my hair with my fingers, but it'll probably just get messy again. It's not like I have time to fix it properly, though. I'm off. Turn the doorknob and pull hard. Oh, Pacifica? What? When I open the door, I see a ghost standing in the common area of the apartment hallway. Is she a grown-up child? What? Or a childish adult? Okay. By appearances, she could go either way. So she's... I'm not going to say for the sake of spoilers. But if you know me, and if you know me, you know who I'm going to say. But if you ask me, I know she's the former. I think she's beautiful. Yoo-hoo. Even as she starts talking, she doesn't stop filing her nails. She's number 2 on my list of people I'd rather not see right now. If it's not obvious, number 1 on the list is that redhead girl, the ghost named Anya. Pacifica? Long time no see, Sayoko. When I hear her somewhat friendly tone, it takes everything I have to keep my mind from unraveling. Pacifica's very smart. I get the feeling that all of this was part of this girl's plan to get to me. Those two know me. Probably have for far longer than I've known them. I need to go on a walk. I know I can't oppose her, but I know I just can't not oppose... I know I can't oppose her, but I know I can't just not oppose her either. Listen to what I have to say, and you can go on as many walks as you'd like. I'm getting dizzy. Pacifica speaks softly, but has a firm fortitude. I don't think anyone can meaningfully oppose her in any way. The phone keeps ringing behind the door I just shut. It's kind of nauseating. But I'm sure you'll find what I have to say quite interesting. It's not like I don't want to hear it, but why me? Please don't get the wrong idea. I just need help. Help? Pacifica takes a step forward, closing the distance between us. My body tenses up. I can't be sure she isn't carrying a knife. Not like she isn't allowed to. Well, whatever. I'll just put up with it for now. It's not like I'll die or anything. As I let my thoughts run wild, I suddenly smell something sweet. Something relaxing. A new ghost has arrived. Pacifica brings her face up close and whispers in my ear. It sends shivers down my spine, blowing away both the nausea and the sleepiness. A new ghost? Pacifica's breath tickles my earlobe, the tips of my toes tingle, and my shoulders freeze in place. Oh, yeah. I guess ghosts breathe too, huh? Shh. Not so loud. It's still a secret. Don't whisper in my ear. Like I said, not so loud. Pacifica's only whispering in my ear for secrecy's sake, but my ears are so sensitive, I can't focus on what she's saying. Okay, I'll listen. I'll hear you out at least. Really? Thank you. I thought you might say that. May I come into your room? Let's have a little private talk, woman to woman. Pacifica gently smiles from ear to ear like a flower blooming. I feel guilty, thinking that there's nothing about me that deserves a smile like that. I've got an inferiority complex about how I'll never be able to smile like that. Those two thoughts gouge out my heart. Pardon the intrusion. That's how you know it's a game made in Japan, because they always announce when they're leaving the room or entering the room. Because that's really not a thing that people care about in the West. So I haven't even locked the door yet. Pacifica opens it on her own and starts to walk in. but then stops in place. Whoa. Pacifica? I mustn't forget my ninja manners. What? Sorry, what? Ninja? Before she crosses the threshold into my room, Pacifica places her hands together and bows. What's up with that? I heard this was a ninja custom. That's news to me. No way. Oh, apparently I'd become known as a ninja in this town without even knowing about it. That's kind of concerning in its own right, but for some reason it feels oddly satisfying to see Pacifica blush. It's a pleasant sight, I guess. Oh, this song's really good. It's good, but it's a bit loud for me, so I'm gonna turn this down a bit. Oh, I can't turn it down, no! I need to turn the volume down. I need to just give you a moment. I have the wrong... There we go. It was just too loud, couldn't think. Upon entering the room, Pacifica makes a beeline for the phone and picks it up. She simply says, "Yes, it's me. Yes, that's right. Yes, please wait. Goodbye," and then hangs up. I brought you something. Sorry, but could you boil some water? I put a pot on the stove and return to the table. Pacifica takes out a bottle of instant coffee out of her handbag. She then takes out a tin of preserved biscuits. What's wrong, Sayoko? I was thinking this is what I had for my last meal, too. You mean when Anya made a mess on the crotch of her plain Jane overalls? Probably, yeah. How long ago was that? No idea. Well, I haven't had much of an appetite. It's not like I'll die anyway. My goodness! As I boil the water, I listen to Pacifica scold me, saying I should take better care of myself and it's not just a matter of living or dying. And soon enough, 2 cups of coffee are ready. She unseals the biscuit tin with a tug of the pull tab. Seems like a fairly decent meal to me. So, about that new ghost. I didn't realize the town could even get new ghosts. Of course it can't. Or at least it shouldn't, that's what makes it such a mystery. The town has always had a set number of ghosts. 1024 to be exact. That's a very special number if you know math. Numbers never increased nor decreased. Nobody's ever said anything about it, but I had figured it was some sort of eternal rule. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I feel like adding one more ghost won't make much of a difference. Maybe someone decided 1025 was a nicer number. She's a girl. Around your age, Sayoko. I see. For some reason, my heart skips a beat. A second later, my chest feels somewhat warm, somewhat numb. In one word, I feel fidgety. So anyway, I thought we should throw her a welcome party. Pacifica just couldn't resist laughing. It looks as if she had read my mind. It's like she knows me better than I know myself, but does she know what this feeling is exactly? We have to throw her one, especially due to the circumstances. What circumstances? The church is examining her. She'll most likely be tired once they release her, so we have to show her a fun time to make up for it. The church. Uh-oh. The town's biggest congregation of ghosts. It also serves as a peacekeeping organization. Hey! That sounds like fate. Headed by a priest, they do policing and politics, and thus the priest is more like the town mayor. Very few ghosts know what goes on in the church, but Pacifica's a pretty influential ghost as far as they go, so I guess she got that information from an inside source. The church still does that sort of things, huh? Some sort of immigration inspection, I suppose? But is it really necessary? It sounds like they're just doing it because they want to. I hate the church. Particularly their attitude. Even after the townspeople become town's ghosts and overcome death, the church still wants to control people under the guise of politics. It's almost like the ghosts are pretending to be alive, and it's so forced. I feel like there's other things that bother me about them, but the anger makes my head feel hazy. Like, yeah, my head always feels hazy, but you know what I mean. So I can't even remember what it is I'm angry about. Hmm? You still hate the church, I see. Well, I do too. Those guys are poop. Yo, she for real for that. Church is poop. Poop is church. The two of us laugh, like two boys in uniform, merrymaking while oozing with pure, unadulterated youth. Youth. It's not exactly a word that I can relate to. So, Sayoko, will you help me out? Okay, I'll help if I can. Thank you, I'm so happy Wah! When Pacifica hugs me tight, my body stiffens. There's nothing I can do. I figured I needed some sort of opportunity to do this. I've been waiting for a long time. I'm so happy I could talk to you like this. Pacifica talks earnestly between sobs. That's right. While she may act overly mature sometimes, that's all it is, an act. Everyone who's close to her knows this. I remember more than I thought. I feel happy I remember, but it also feels odd that she's got some attachment to me. It's a swirl of emotions, like a spinning barbershop pole. Pacifica's as gentle as ever. She hasn't changed, but what about me? I feel like I've changed a little, the same way milk changes after its expiration date. A change you can smell with a single whiff. I can't go back to being me. I suppose that's how I describe the way I'm feeling. I guess I was just looking for an excuse. You've always been so close. I just needed a little courage to speak out to you. Ow. There's nothing I can say. Being touched makes me feel safe. I don't want to let you go ever again. But at the same time, it also makes me anxious. After all, I have no idea how I can ever repay someone who makes me feel this happy. If I get too comfortable taking advantage of her kindness, she might start to hate me. And I don't want her to hate me. I can't find the words to say, which is a simple hug. All of these feelings are revolving around inside me, and I'm just so afraid that I'll end up crushing this moment into dust. And just like that, the happiness has faded away completely, leaving nothing but coarse anxiety coursing through my heart. Am I just not used to dealing with kindness? Huh? Suddenly, it's gone for a second. I fear that my worst fear had come true, but the reality is slightly different. Sorry, Sayoko, but, what is it? Are you showering properly? You, kinda smell like spoiled milk. Oh, now that you mention it, I haven't showered since the other day. Which other day? You know, when Anya spilled coffee on those ugly overalls of hers? The poop talked! Pacifica leaps backwards away from me. There's a look of fear on her face that she probably wouldn't want anyone else to see normally. Well, I mean, if nobody's gonna come see me and the air's not humid, then why bother showering, man? Whatever happened to I don't ever want to let you go ever again? Who asked you, you 100-year-old poop? It's been 100 years? Oh. The very concept of a calendar had disappeared from this town, so time had become incredibly ambiguous. Individually, a day is simple to track, but as the days pile up, it's impossible to keep track of months and years. You'd have an easier time counting the sand and the desert of snow surrounding this town, one grain at a time. If you think about it, I suppose it's not normal to go this long without showering, huh? Maybe I really have changed. Am I trying to reclaim myself? Take a shower now! Okay. My fear being separated from Pacifica turns into fear of Pacifica herself. I stop thinking, grab a towel, and head to the bathroom as quickly as possible. Oh my god, there's like commercial breaks. That's amazing. It's almost done. So if I were to pause. Whoa. 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 Wait. How, so like now I'm back. Whoa. That's cool. I really like how this is. Oh, the presentation is 10 out of 10. All right. So, I don't think I've ever gone outside around that time before. The snow seemed a little soft and hard to walk on, perhaps due to the rising temperature. Ah, Sayoko. Pacifica. Looks like I wasn't the only one called here. I see. I guess that makes sense. The time has come. Is it done? I wonder. I can't wait. Pacifica nods and weighs her words for a while. And then... If you can't wait, then let's hurry. Oh, yo, the jazz! Hey! I chase after Pacifica when she breaks into a run. It's my first outing at dawn. We dash as if swimming through the pristine air. Main Street looks so different compared to how it normally does. It's like a quiet, still pond. And just as how... Oh, this song is going so hard! I love this! Oh, so good. Just as how skipping stone makes ripples in a still pond, our footsteps and Pacifica's laughter break the silence. I'm excited. Oh, it's Anya. Not that I mind, but why are you out of breath? We take one turn off Main Street and reach a workshop garage. Anya looks at us as she sits on a garbage can placed in front of the closed shutters, swinging her legs around. Oh, hi, yo. Oh, guten Morgen. Huh? Two of us laugh when we see Anya's confused face. Anya looks to be about my age, so I don't use formal words with her. Pacifica seems to be older than me, so I've ended up using formal words with her, but not because I'm trying to keep my distance from her or anything. That is stuff that is purely Japanese. And it's not like I don't respect Anya either. Do those greetings mean anything? Not really, Poop. You starting something? Well, that's how things usually go. Though something special's waiting just around the corner, it doesn't mean things will suddenly change between us. Well, whatever. I'm tired, so let's get down to business. Anya sighs. Her face does look a little tired, and her posture doesn't show any enthusiasm either, at all. So is it done? Is it done? Or is it not? What do you think? The way her eyes light up with confidence already spoils the answer to that question. It's done, I did it, wanna see? You wanna see it? I wanna see it. I grab Anya by the shoulder when I say that. We have both lost our cool. Anya chuckles to herself and pulls a remote out of her pocket. Time for the big reveal. Clack, 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 wee, ka-shunk. Shutters open, revealing a large box-shaped silhouette inside the dark garage. Ta-da! There it is. Our hope. Our first weapon. This one's for the books. A squarish armored vehicle. At least that's probably what it is. Wow, that's amazing, Anya. Whoa. Whoa! Whoa, I just moved the controller! What the frick? I just moved the controller to adjust and I'm like, whoa, why did they start moving? And yeah, I'm moving the controller. So I go, okay, so I'm gonna tilt up, tilt down, left, right. Oh my god. Yo, that's wild. Because I moved slightly and I'm like I moved to adjust as you do as your VTube, and that's cool. Again, presentation-wise, this game does some wild things. Between the light, like every time I press A, there's a very, very light tap in the controller, and it feels great. And then there's that's super cool. Indeed, I'm impressed. We walk inside is it still going? Yep, okay. We walk inside the large, spacious garage, storing the armored vehicle and pat its frame. I'm not a car person, but I can tell it's a reliable machine. The armor looks like it could deflect a few bullets, and the fat tires look like they could handle any terrain. There's even 6 of them. I don't know where the other 2 are. I doubt you can get anywhere in the snow desert without something like this. Well, it's an honor to hear that. Thanks. Anya's an apprentice at the local town repair workshop. Though I feel this is the first time her career skills have proven useful to us since we first got to know each other. I don't think a repair worker like Anya could create something so impressive. It's amazing, that's all I can say. You think we can leave with this thing? I mutter as Anya shows us the inside of the car. We sure can. It certainly seems so. Our goal, or rather our dream I suppose, is to leave the city. Or to be more accurate, it's to head to my home country, which may or may not be on the other side. My friends and I have been working day in and day out towards that goal. No idea how far we'll have to go, but I made sure we can pack a lot of food and stuff. Should we bring board games and stuff too? Wouldn't it be too bumpy of a ride for board games? Good point. Boy, am I tired. Time to sleep. Bye. Anya lies down on the hard concrete garage floor. I look outside the window. Sure enough, the sun's almost fully risen. Ghosts always get sleepy in the morning. They can barely stay awake until early morning, but even that's cutting it close. No fair. Me too. Pacifica lies down next to the half-asleep Anya and curls up. It looks so comfortable. It makes me want to lie down next to them too, but there's something I have to do before that. I get the garage shutter remote. I also pick up a thick blanket that Anya must have gotten ready for this little sleepover. Hey, come on, it's gonna be cold if you just go to sleep like that. It's not like ghosts can catch colds, but they do feel cold. And even though they're wearing coats, the floor is likely to grow cold. Press the button on the remote and the shutter shuts with a rattle. I lie down on the concrete floor and loosely spread out the blanket. Aww. Say, Anya. What? Did your boss help you? Not really? It doesn't matter either way, but, huh? Are you pretending to be asleep? Well, whatever. We share our warmth underneath the blanket as we drift into sleep. Eventually, our consciousness melts as we all enter one dream. If only a dream that's more like a pipe dream. Rip. And with that last thought, I sink deep down into the ocean of sleep. My vision blurs as if crossing the surface of the water. My eyelids are heavy, so heavy they start to sink. They start to sink by themselves. But right before they close, in the sliver of my dim vision, conglomerationality! Who's that? We walk around the street at night. In other words, during peak ghost activity hours. I never thought I'd walk around the streets under a pitch-black sky again. You don't have to be so nervous, you know. Sorry, but But what? Whoa, what? What? Like, where are? What? I thought that was that a dream itself? Or was that a flashback? Oh man, I don't know. But what? I can't find the words to continue. Or is that a flash forward? Is that I don't know. I say as I shake my controller around. Conversation fades into the air like smoke. Yeah, okay, so this is after the shower. Whoa! Once I finish taking a shower, Pacifica says let's go to the station. I'm not sure going there will help us prepare the welcome party for the new ghost. The fact that the station's such a far walk away from my home doesn't help my enthusiasm either. My worst fear turns out to be accurate. Every ghost we come across gets out of our way when they see us, or rather when they see me. And it's not clearly out of kindness nor respect. The ghosts fear me. Complex emotions weigh down my heart. Resignation, I don't blame you. Sadness, don't look at me like that. Indignation, you're already dead. What do they have to even to fear? I hate this. Unable to describe my jumbled up feelings, I say something embarrassingly ambiguous. I don't know if I should be apologizing, but I'm sorry. No, I wasn't blaming you or anything, Pacifica. Though Pacifica smiles, her eyes narrow, a sign that I haven't cleared up that misunderstanding. I curse my poor language skills. Whoa. Whoa, this place is wild. Can you hold my bag? I nod absentmindedly and take Pacifica's handbag. The station's pretty big. Must have been an ostentatious building in its heyday. But it's hard to imagine what it used to look like now that it's an abandoned wreck. Most lights are broken, so it's incredibly dark inside. Not impossible to walk here if you try hard enough, but it makes me wish I had a light. The few lights that remain intact are enough of a hindrance that your eyes can't adjust to the darkness, so anything that's in the shadows is completely dark. Pacifica strikes a match and lights an old-fashioned lamp. Pacifica's rich enough to buy high-luminance LED lamps or expensive, high-power wearable lights, or at least I think she is, but for some reason she's using a lamp. Has she always been like that? I don't remember. I feel like there's a memory that locked... I feel like there's a memory like that locked away somewhere in my brain. Feels odd, but it doesn't matter. The station appears to have been a terminal. At least that's the conclusion I've come to, seeing as all the railroad tracks only come in from one direction. It seems kind of fitting for a ghost town to be a dead end. At least that's what I think. I follow behind Pacifica from the front entrance to the platforms. There's not a star to be seen in the sky above the cracked ceiling. I see a single point of light ahead. It sways slightly, several dozen meters ahead. There stands a young red-headed girl. Yes, she looks nothing but young. Her name is Anya, a ghost who I used to be friends with just as much as Pacifica. Sorry for the wait. Doesn't matter. You sure you took your time, though? Run into any problems? Each time Anya's body sways, the float light hovering a little less than a meter above her head sways with it. I'm not sure how that thing works, but it makes her look kind of funny. It's like an angel halo. I mean, doesn't that seem funny? A ghost cosplaying as an angel? I had Sayoko take a shower. Oh, I see. I stay silent. I decide not to say anything unless spoken to. Long time no see. Yes, I guess so. Looks like I win this time. Whatever, Passy. It's not like I wanted to win anyway. And I didn't want to lose, Anster. Anster just doesn't sound right. Two of them exchange playful banter, but Anya's face looks a little stiff since I'm here. These two are my only real connection to this town. Judging from what they said, I guess the two of them were betting to see who could drag me out of my room first. But I'm enough of an idiot that I'm not enough of an idiot that I could say something like, "Don't use me as a pawn in your games, you two." It's necessary to just accept these sorts of things if you want to revive interpersonal relationships that remain stagnant for years or even longer. Okay, Sayoko, let's head to the garbage dump. Why the garbage dump? I want to ask, but instead I say silent. I don't want to disappoint them. Despite the things I say, I dream of reviving our friendship. Okay, let's go. So that was a flashback. They were friends. And now definitely not. Although, that might have been a flash forward if that one girl was there. A slight shadow seems to cast itself over Anya's face when I say that. It's a little frightening. Did I do something wrong? I guess there's no use dwelling on it. Alrighty. Anya claps her hands twice, and the float light above her head changes from an angelic halo to a shining sun. It's so bright it makes me squint. It's so bright. Maybe a little too bright? This thing's a cheap model, so it's only got 2 brightness levels, but I figure this should be plenty for picking up garbage. That's true. Good job. You're a real engineering advisor. I don't mind being an engineering advisor, but why don't you just shop around at stores? Don't you have money? Isn't it obvious? Huh? Well, I guess. Anya shrugs as Pacifica starts walking ahead. Once my eyes adjust to the light, I follow behind. So does Anya. We did make eye contact, but you could say we're on the same wavelength. Whenever Anya moves, her miniature sun sways, causing the shadows cast by rubble, signs, and pillars to stretch and shrink. Let me explain from the beginning. The needle on the compass points north. I know. Wow, you really know your stuff, Anastasia. Don't call me Anastasia. That's what Anya's short for, isn't it? Hell no, don't just make stuff up. But it's cute, like you're a princess. It's exactly why I hate it. Don't you dare try to make it a thing. We quickly backtrack the way we came. Thanks to the intense light, it's much easier this time. It's still pitch black outside the station. I get a little dizzy thinking about how long the night is. Anya claps her hands twice and the light fades. The light's mechanical core plops onto the ground. What a convenient little thing. Probably too expensive for me to afford, though. Then again, I guess I can't afford anything since I don't have a job. Apparently the new girl's being interrogated at the church. Yeah, I know. That's all we know. I'm thinking that after she gets released, her reputation with the church will remain sensitive. And? If we go shopping for her, it may sour the shop's reputations with the church. Oh. Maybe it's different with your shop, but things get complicated with other shops due to the church's strong influence on the economy. It's important that we care for the new girl, but we shouldn't cause trouble for other people either, right? Pacifica breaks into a smile. I like this smile way more than the flawless, forced smile that she makes sometimes. Who cares? Rude. Shut up. As those two talk, we eventually reach the garbage dump. It's near the station, so it doesn't take long. Now that I know that the garbage dump was our destination, I'm sorry if it was shaking there. That's from me, because I'm bouncing my leg, because that's just how I sit. I apologize. Now that I know the garbage dump was our destination, I guess it makes sense why we meet up in the empty station. It's a perfect meeting place for an outcast like me. It's easy to think when you don't talk. Isn't that right, Sayoko? Huh? I was just saying it's been years since we walked around like this. I suppose so. Would you look at that? Anya's facial expression changed again, I think. I guess I can still tick her off even when talking as little as possible. It's been hundreds of years, hasn't it? Has it been that long? I think so. Okay, then let's just go with 9,999 years. I don't get why that quip's gotten so popular. I don't like that one bit. Our conversation is reassuring in two ways. First, it's reassuring to know that my presence doesn't immediately ruin the mood. And second, it's reassuring to know that I'm not the only one who lacks a sense of time. Now I think about it, I don't think I've ever heard anyone else talk about it. Maybe I just don't remember. My memory's pretty much just a vague puddle in the back of my skull. Maybe it's just because it's just common knowledge. Maybe I've even forgotten what common knowledge is. Sayoko? Yes? Pacifica's voice snaps my inward-focused consciousness back to reality. When I snap to reality, there's a tall chain-link fence standing before us. Part of it is made to open up like a door. It's the entrance to the garbage dump. It doesn't look like it's locked, so we can easily get inside. It's not like this place is off limits or anything, right? No place is off limits if you don't get caught. It's as simple as that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put the controller down because its movements from my micro movements, now that I realized it, are driving me insane. Nah, garbage collection isn't exclusive merchants or something. The boss and I come here for parts sometimes too. Really? Have you been here, Sayoko? I come here occasionally. The garbage dump is the alpha and the omega of this town. From garbage you come, and garbage you shall return. It's almost the opposite of a real garbage dump. Ghosts can't keep more than what they need. Any excess, be it accessories or furniture, suddenly disappears when forgotten. Oh, that's terrifying. And just as suddenly, those things appear here at the garbage dump. That's why this place might not be a real garbage dump. It's the same with ghosts. We just happen to call them that, but nobody knows what it is that they really are. But they still exist regardless. Whoa, it's so hard to find footing here. Get organized. That's a tall order for a garbage dump. Anya turns on her light again as we carefully trudge over the piles of garbage. Garbage tends to end up in clumps of related items, so with that information in mind, we look for conspicuous party goods like streamers or colored pens. I find some sort of canned fish at my feet, so I pick it up and put it in my pocket. The can is the same sort of design as the biscuits I just ate, so maybe it's from the same manufacturer. That's right, even food is part of the cycle. Everything, and I mean everything, cycles back around to this garbage dump. Can of biscuits we just ate is probably back here too, biscuits and all. All the shops Pacifica mentioned collect items from the garbage dump to process and resell. Ghosts rummage through the garbage dump and live modest lives based on their needs, just as they always have and probably always will too. You can say that for ghosts. This place is like a bountiful ocean. And I suppose that's why it might be relaxing to come here. Here, you can find anything so long as it's not living. I feel like I've heard something like that somewhere before. But who was it who said it again? Oh! Sayoko! I can hear the chattering of metal as my body starts to feel like it's floating in the air. Though in reality, all that happened is the pile of garbage gave way and I lost my footing. Like, you gotta be careful, okay? Sorry. Unable to keep up with Anya's sudden movement, the float lamp tumbles into the garbage pile and shuts off. So not only did I lose my footing, but it's also suddenly dark, causing me to panic for a second. Anya and I are pretty much the same height, but her hands seem a little smaller than mine. I grip her hand tight and place my feet on solid ground. I keep holding her hand until my eyes get used to the dark. Sorry. You don't have to say it twice. I may have ticked off Anya again. My hands are sweating like crazy. Oh, it's the car. Oh, no, the car was sent here. Pacifica murmurs. The fallen garbage reveals what was underneath. Jumping out of the pile of garbage is a rusty station wagon. There's no way this is stable footing. The car thing was a whole ordeal. It took until morning to work on it that one time. Only now does Anya look at me in the eyes, as if peering into them. Her green eyes glow gently like beautiful emeralds. Her hand starts to feel warm. I guess it was always warm, and I'm only now noticing. I relax just a little bit. What car? With one careless word, I extinguish that light. The warmth in my hand quickly fades. Though that shouldn't be a surprise, since she had shaken off my hand, exposing its damp surface to the cold air. Don't you remember? Even you should... No, wait, I remember. Honestly, we tried to leave by car, didn't we? I'm flustered, so flustered I get dizzy. I frantically search through my memories for what I should know, for what I shouldn't even ever forget. I remember. What happened? In the end, too, we all... You really are Sayoko, right? Of course. It's me. I'm me. I haven't changed. I'm me, I think. I'm me, she says. But am I really? There's no way that I can't be me, right? But for some reason, I'm not so confident. I'm confident. I'd be confident if I had something to prove my identity, right? It's no use. My thoughts keep spilling out like snowy sand. What? Does Sayoko change into something else if you leave her alone, like cheese? Pacifica gives off a somewhat exaggerated laugh as if to say, well, she did smell like spoiled milk. If Pacifica didn't come to my rescue there, I probably would have been kept on panicking forever. I'm sorry, that was really out there. No, I should apologize. We all tried to leave town together, didn't we? We used the car that you remodeled. Sorry, I keep spacing out lately. I regain enough sense to avoid talking about what happened in the end. I was able to remember. I guess memories are no exception to the rule. Everything forgotten returns to this garbage dump. Perhaps even forgotten memories. That's right, we tried to go to the other side. Sylvia points to the ever-expansive snow desert. The garbage pile's pretty high, so you can see far into the distance from here. Right, that's why Anya remodeled the car. That was amazing. Well, my boss helped me with pretty much everything for that. I guess we're not going to touch the topic of what happened afterwards after all. Well, I guess that's for the best. I wonder if anything's on the other side. Maybe there isn't anything. But maybe there is. We'll have to go find out. The snow desert softly sparkles as it reflects the town's lights. We all look at it silently. Whoa, sound, whoa. Oh, that was kind of scary sound. So about the new girl. Pacifica breaks the silence. I hope we can get along with her. She sounds somewhat sad, but not reluctant. Lonely. Yes, that's the word. That's how I describe the look on her face. I'm sure she'll be nice. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Oh, yo. God, the art in this game is so good. Is there a display image button? High text. That's what I want, baby. Oh my, like, frick. Frick. Look at this. Holy crap. Holy crap, that looks so good. Dang. Dang. Dang, this game is beautiful looking. This game, like, honestly, kind of a sleeper hit for you know, RPG visuals. Not RPG, visual novel visuals. Oops, turn off the autoplay. She's got something to massage. Oh, wait, we can go back. We can just... Okay, there we go. Anya speaks up as if to assuage her concerns. She's got a similar look on her face. It makes me worry if I should... It makes me worry if I should, too. There's still plenty of time before dawn. We all just sit down and gaze across the desert for a while. I can't peel my eyes off the black and white horizon. It's almost spellbinding. Maybe we're on an island. A small island in the middle of a white snow desert sea. Help isn't coming. Because beyond the sea, civilization has already fallen. Haha. I smile at the strange thought. Smile of relief, even though the thought isn't relieving at all. I can sense Pacifica smiling, and eventually Anya smiles too, as if unable to handle the peer pressure. I guess it's obvious that I'm smiling, but it doesn't feel bad at all. I try to play it cool and keep staring out at this across the sea. The other two watch as well. It's a beautiful night. We may be sitting in piles of garbage, but it feels like a beautiful night nonetheless. Dang. About 60 out of 100. If I were to rate today, that's about how high I'd rate it. That said, I give my rating the moment I crawl into bed, so my opinion might be a little skewed. I yawn. I sit up and take a sip of water from the plastic bottle at my bedside, a bottle I had just picked up earlier. The cold sensation passes down my throat. I let out another sigh. I'm too tired to even feel tired. I'm so tired of thinking. I don't even want to think about thinking of thinking. I don't even want to think about being tired of thinking. That's how pathetic I feel. We were able to pick up all sorts of party goods, load them into a bike trailer we found just lying there, and carry them off to Pacifica's place. Pacifica wanted to take home a small, stylish sofa, but we got into an argument when Anya said it was out of the question. I reflected on what happened today, but the moment I lied down on my bed, I thought, nope, not happening. Yo, big mood. I try stretching, but to no avail. It only makes it worse, if anything. The intense sleepiness quickly crushes my consciousness. So quickly, I don't even have time to think about what crushing a consciousness means. Good night. Eye catch, please. The following is Sayoko's attempt of recalling her memories. It's like a VCR. Oh my god, let's... Okay, go! Oh. The red-headed girl steps on the gas. The car starts. An angry man in priest robes glares at the car from behind. I'm getting excited. Me too! The girl with the blonde hair and the girl nuzzles their faces against each other. They're very close with each other. Actually, look, the town... It's like a VCR. Another memory. In the middle of the snow desert, 3 girls. What did who behind you? Obviously you. Why would gunshot? Uh-oh. Wait, that's her with a gun. Next. Sorry, but you gotta quick or... Gunshot. Yet another memory, an awfully vague one. Whoa! The black girl arrives in the middle of the plaza, dragging 2 corpses behind her. The corpses of the blonde girl and the red-headed girl. Someone, help, please, help, The crowd gathers in the blink of an eye. Brawny men surround the black-haired girl. The red-haired girl and the blonde-haired girl arrive on the scene, perhaps having revived at the garbage dump. The crowd makes way. The red-headed girl vomits. The blonde girl pats her on the back and breaks down crying. The corpses wither away without a sound. They mummify and fast forward, leaving nothing but bones. What? The men lunge at the black-haired girl. Whoa, what the frick? End of memory. A plaza is covered in the blood of ghosts. That's apparently what happens to ghosts when they die. Their fleeting corpses quickly begin to wither away. They grow cold from the head down. Whoo, whoo, whoo. I can't believe the beast-like roar coming out of my own mouth. Even if I try to keep it in check, the rough breathing keeps spilling out. It irritates me. In retaliation, I trample on one of the broken-necked corpses at my feet. The barely intact neck makes a nice squishing sound when I stomp through it onto the ground. Oh my god. I look up to see Pacifica and Anya staring blankly at me. Their eyes are empty as if they're not looking at anything. My mind is completely blank, but I do know that I've lost everything. I try to escape. I turn my back to them and try to run away. And right behind me stands an unfamiliar girl. You must be lonely. Lonely. That's what the girl said. That's the one word I wanted to say more than anyone else. I feel as if I cried. Maybe I really did cry this time. But before I can check, the dream ends. Whoa! Whoa! Oh my god! Let's freaking go! Yo, oh my god. What a freaking... Oh. Oh, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Oh, frick. I was even gonna say, like, what a perfect time to end it there. Oh, I got... And it's funny, because, like, yeah, it's kind of coping off the ideas of, you know... I really like that it's giving you time to think about what just happened. Oh, it's so good. It's giving you the feelings of a good anime, which is, like, obviously the best. Oh my god, this did she only have 3 fingers? Did you see that? Did you see that? God. God, yes. Okay, that was episode 1 there. The day of the nameless anonymous birthday party. So we're not gonna watch that just yet. I really from episode. Okay, so then the episode chapters have their own there, right? So we got seemingly 6 episodes. I mean, it says 5, but I don't know. There might be more. This is a visual spectacle, and something I really enjoyed so far. I obviously, because this was given to me with very specific instructions, I cannot stream the whole game, just because of the fact that this, you know, is a free #free game. But if you are interested, I highly say check this out on. I think it's on Steam and Switch. Although I'll say the way that the Switch version there was working with the HD rumble and stuff was really quite incredible. I really can't stress that it feels really good, and the small motion stuff was real cool. Real cool. But otherwise, yes. Thank you all for watching. I hope you're interested in the game, because I freaking am. I might play the rest, because, I mean, this was beautiful. This was awesome. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time for some more. Ciao.